Hey, what is going on, sports gamers? It's Lazarus with SGO, and today I'm bringing you yet another MLB The Show 18 video. Today, we're going to be focusing on some of the commentary and presentation updates in MLB The Show 18. If you're excited for the newest installment in the franchise, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more updates and gameplay. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is the new announcing updates. First off, we actually have a whole new announcer. Former player Mark DeRosa will be replacing Harold Reynolds in the booth, ending his one-year tenure as a MLB The Show announcer. And according to some of the guys over at San Diego Studios, there has been a huge effort to make the announcing feel more dynamic and natural. For example, they said they've added tons of more improvised stuff and a lot more casual commentary. You know, if you're watching a baseball game, sometimes the announcers will just go out on tangents and start talking about absolutely ridiculous stories. Well, they have some of those recorded for MLB The Show 18 now. Next up, we're going to be talking about all the new cameras they have. Now, this is not like hitting cameras or pitching cameras. This is more presentation and broadcast cameras. One that they put big emphasis on are the new Homerun cameras. Now, when you hit a home run, you might get a new camera that is very close to the player and gives you a good angle of the ball going out of the stadium, along with your player rounding the bases. If you've ever watched Sunday Night Baseball, you know they have the cameraman that follows the players around the bases, and now they have something like that in MLB The Show. There's also a lot more angles and new shots between innings, and even between pitches and more like that. They've added tons of new shots of the stadiums from all different sorts of angles, so they could really show off the beauty of them. Apparently they've doubled the number of stadium-specific cameras, which was already a lot, so we're going to be seeing tons of those. And all in all, this just makes the game more realistic in a broadcast sense. That's nice, so this is just a really solid addition, even though it doesn't add too much. Next up, we're going to be talking about some of the new weather dynamics, and if you've ever played an MLB The Show game, you know the weather is basically just 4 choices. Right now we're going to focus on the rain, and if you've ever chosen rain, you know it's exactly the same every time, which is just not realistic. Now in your game, you can have anywhere from 250 to 200,000 raindrops. It actually does have weather patterns now, meaning that no game will be the same, for the most part. And they can also change during the game. You can go from having a drought, you can go from having an absolute monsoon in the first inning, and then a few innings later it'll clear up a bit. Of course, there's also the new rain delay presentations, which could possibly happen mid-game and cause you to just go into a rain delay and then have to change pitchers. Now, while that might sound annoying, it's pretty rare according to the developers, so it shouldn't be too much of a worry. Another pretty interesting thing they showed off about the weather is fog. So for the first time in any MLB The Show game, they actually implemented fog. Some stadiums like San Francisco and Pittsburgh happen to get very foggy due to their proximity to water, and using real weather data, San Diego Studios has made a system that will lead to fog showing up in your game. Now, it could be a lot or a little. It all depends on the time of year, time of day, and all that interesting stuff. Next up, we're going to talk about the crowd improvements. Now, San Diego Studios has done a lot of stuff to make it a lot more realistic. For example, they now have real-time props, so you're going to see people holding phones and cups, stuff like that. In addition to the props, the crowd now actually behaves and reacts more according to the situation. For example, if you hit a deep fly ball to left field, but it gets caught on the warning track, they're going to sound disappointed and they're going to look like they're disappointed. That, along with tons of more animations, is just going to make it a much more realistic experience. Another thing that was improved was the attendance. So instead of just having a sold-out stadium every game or having an empty stadium every game, there's going to be a lot of factors that play into how many people are actually at the stadium. Some of these factors are what day it is, what stadium it is, what team it is, the matchup, your record, the score, so they could leave mid-game or come later, and the weather. Now, for a quick example, Dodgers fans are notorious for showing up late. So at the beginning of a game at Dodger Stadium, there's going to be less people than there would be in like the 4th or 5th inning. So it's just a really cool thing that makes the game a lot more realistic. And finally, the last major presentation improvement is player emotions. Now, they've added something called situational awareness, and that basically means that players will be reacting appropriately to how the situation is in the game. You're going to be seeing more players getting excited after a big play, a big hit, something like that. You're going to be seeing managers have emotions, which is something that hasn't been done before. And of course, there's tons of little things too. Like now you'll see the catcher encouraging the pitcher, telling him to calm down. And you'll also see the middle infielders say how many outs there are, just little things like that. Now, these animations will mostly depend on the inning, what kind of situation it is, how big the game is, all stuff like that. And if anything, this all just makes the game feel a lot more organic and realistic, which is obviously what they're going for as the best baseball sim on the market. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to stay on the lookout for more MLB The Show 18 content. And I've been Lazarus with SGO. Thank you for watching. Peace.